Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Season Keepers, the show where the only two people we recommend keeping for the season is us. My name's Matt, aka Clean Sheet Wipeout.
My name's James, aka SK James FPL.
I would ask you how you doing, mate, but I know that when it comes to Sky, you're doing fucking fantastic.
Yeah, had an absolutely brilliant week.
I know, fair play,
For
man.
both teams actually.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a bit, but yeah, the amount of texts I got from James last night about his position and Ronaldo hauling, oh my God, we'll talk about it later, but I think as always, we'll cover each game tier by tier, game by game. Not that I want to for a few games, and then yeah, we'll come on to our teams and then finish off with the community questions. So first things first, James. Newcastle won, Norwich won.
Yeah, I don't think many people own people from these teams,
Nah,
but Dubravka getting saved here is decent. Obviously, the Newcastle went down to 10 men pretty early,
yeah,
so that obviously brought on quite a lot of attacks from Norwich, which obviously Pookie benefited from. Scored a great goal. Obviously, could have scored another goal had he not been dragged down.
yeah.
But you know, very good performance.
You got a feel for Ryan Fraser. Obviously, gets himself a start. Then
Oh yeah, just
Kieran Clark
dragged
holds
off.
Pookie down, and then he's dragged off after 11 minutes for a defender. It's unfortunate, and yeah, it really changed the game. You know, there might be some people on San Maximan potentially was a Newcastle option. Other than that, I don't really think that there's a lot there. I guess for anybody that maybe gambled on Billy Gilmore, obviously with
Knew you were going to
budget,
mention Billy Gill.
so unlucky. Like 59
One
passes.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, one away. It's harsh. Whereas you look, obviously, his one of his midfield partners, Rupp, was just hit it. But I think Gilmore is still going to be a good option come post overhaul, and he seems like he's really cemented a place in this squad now that the management's been changed. One thing of note before we move on from this game, James, is I'm a little bit disappointed. Eddie Howe seems to have stopped Newcastle midfielders tackling.
Oh no, yeah,
There's
yeah.
there's
No
no
one there,
tackle team.
no
I know.
tackles.
And I thought
Oh
I was going to
dear.
see a list of them given they went down to 10 men. I thought tackles all over the place. Apparently not.
All right, I'm hoping it's a one-off.
Yeah, we'll see next week. Otherwise, I'll be writing Eddie Howe a strongly worded letter. It's become key for
Yeah.
this podcast. So right, and then moving on to the next game, and yeah, this really wound me up because I had one choice, and that choice was Gallagher. We all know about my Mbomo to Rafinha move and how much that's been kicking him up the arse, and it did again. 90 fucking third minute penalty. Leeds 1, Crystal Palace nil.
Yeah, lots of people on Rafinha, lots of people on Gallagher. I own both in one of my teams, and I had the tough decision, but I went Rafinha, and I'm obviously glad I did.
Yeah,
But prior to the penalty, there
did
wasn't too
nothing.
much going on
Yeah,
for either of them. It
that,
was
that was his only shot on target. He only had
yeah,
19 passes in the game and one tackle. He was anonymous, and the bit that wound me up the most is the fact that because he scored the winning penalty, he's then given fucking man of the match as well. I'm not bitter or anything, but come on.
yeah, kicks you while you're down. Something I noticed in this game, I thought Forshaw was quite greedy in this game.
Yeah.
There are certain bits where I feel like he could have passed, but he was taking pot shots. I think he had quite a lot of shots off target. He's obviously got one on target there,
Mm.
but that's something I noticed. Obviously, he did pick up tackles here, as did Dallas. Dallas and Zaha were having a great battle down that wing pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, it was
A
expected,
bit
wasn't it?
feisty. Got Dallas a booking.
Always is.
But
Always is
yeah,
with Zaha.
Zaha loves it. Gets wound up so easily,
Oh yeah.
which normally does give him an edge, but not for this game. Mitchell was bombing forward and also made quite a lot of
Yeah,
tackles,
got
but
6.
yeah, 6 tackles. But yeah, I don't think there's too much else to cover in this game.
Now the only other mention or worthy mention is probably Gihai. I think he's got some ownership in the top
Mm,
1K,
yeah,
and incredibly unfortunate. He's gone from effectively getting another clean sheet, another tidy hole, to conceding the penalty, getting booked, and finish with the 1 pointer.
Cooper also very unlucky. One pass off tier two,
Yeah,
passing tier.
yeah, he's so consistent with his passes, though, isn't he?
He is.
Right, let's jump on then to the next games, and we'll start with a game that I was in attendance. It was Southampton 2, Leicester 2.
Yeah, a bit of a strange set of goal scorers on this one. Bednarak and Johnny Evans both scoring. Don't think many are on those. People are probably just on sort of Ward-Prowse, Livramento, Vardy.
Yeah,
Fair play to anyone that's chucked in James Maddison based off of last week's
yeah. Rewarded with another
performance.
goal.
Yeah, goal, shots here. Very good. Hopefully, he may well keep that up.
Yeah,
Um,
Madison seems to have taken the mantle a bit since Tielemans got injured, and I also noticed that we've got a question about that, and it's something I've been thinking about. Rogers has mentioned that Tielemans is back in light training. I don't think he'll be back for this weekend, but it will certainly be worth keeping an eye on Madison's output when Tielemans is back fit and in the same team, as to whether the returns dry up or whether he can really take a step forward with Tielemans alongside him.
I think he should still be able to get these returns with Tielemans in the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will be interesting to see.
Definitely. And obviously, Vardy, I guess, rather unexpectedly started after Rogers' comments about he might not be able to play, a midweek game. He'll be tired for the weekend. It does make it interesting as to whether he'll play this weekend. But yeah, if you're on Vardy, worth keeping an eye on. As for Saints, if you're still on Livramento, I think you probably have to reassess now. Honestly, we look like conceding most games. And then for anybody else, it's still a rotation nightmare. I mentioned on the FPL podcast, but I think that I'd be very surprised if we didn't make at least 4 changes for this weekend. Some players look tired. There's fresh legs sat on the bench, and we've got some depth for once. So Livramento could even be one of those.
I reckon so. Yeah, he's looked very tired.
Definitely. Right, let's jump on to a game in which probably really annoyed a lot of people because Chelsea defensively are incredibly highly owned in the top 1K, and it was Watford 1, Chelsea 2.
Yeah, unexpected clean sheet wipeout for Chelsea. Yeah, painful one.
Yeah.
For those. I know some people are obviously double.
I'm on
maybe
double.
maybe even triple. I think
I've seen 4.
Just have Rudiger 4.
Yeah,
Wow,
I've seen people with 4. Yeah.
That's a lot. Obviously, a lot of people have brought in Alonso based on that Chilwell injury.
Yep.
Obviously, he picked up a booking in this game.
Yep.
Didn't even hit any tears.
No, he was
a
tackle off of tackle tier, which was irritating.
Yeah, big blow for those that have brought him in.
Yeah, thanks.
Dennis keeps returning for Watford against very good teams.
I
know.
He's
obviously, we said it last week. We don't want to use a striker's spot on him, but maybe that wouldn't be a bad decision.
No, exactly. Especially if you're not going the old freemium. And I think a lot of us are probably considering going against Kane, for instance, in the next couple of weeks. So if you're going to do that, Dennis is an option. African Cup of Nations is still worrying. I don't believe he's been called up for a while, but I think he's been named in the provisional squad this time round. So given his form, I think surely they have to put all kind of issues aside between him and the management, because if you've got a Premier League player of this quality, you've got to take him, surely.
Yeah, you'd think so. And yeah, I think it'd be worth having in your team up until that point, even if he does go.
Yeah,
I think there's returns waiting to happen.
Exactly, and it was generally a poor performance from Chelsea from what I've seen, and I think that is indicated by the fact that none of their defenders got close to passing tier, so they've not even asserted any dominance in the game. I think Chalobah picked up an injury, so obviously he's came off, and then Aspilicueta was obviously subbed early for Lukaku when they were kind of chasing the game, and obviously Ziyech popped up with the winner 3 minutes after that, but I'd be very surprised to see Lukaku not start in the early kickoff against West Ham this weekend.
Yeah, as would I. I think he definitely will be starting, and be quite interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, and talking of West Ham, they're the next game. It was West Ham 1, Brighton 1.
Yeah, no tears at all for West Ham in this game.
Nothing.
Which is not great. A lot of people obviously are on Antonio, few on Rice. You're going to be disappointed inevitably. But Brighton Lewis Dunk, very reliable with his passing tier. I feel like I may have to think about getting him in because regardless of if they keep a clean sheet, he tends to get that passing tier.
Yeah, he was one of the only bright lights in my team this week, mate.
Oh, bless you. Bazuma also passing tier. Moda got tackle tier. Sanchez got save tier. And obviously Neil Mopay, a late goal.
He did, yeah. And the other big news is the fact that Adam Webster, obviously back in the team for the last couple of weeks.
Oh, I saw Ian brought him
Yeah,
in.
I was going to say
And
Ian
yeah,
Parron. I think there's quite a few like him as well that have brought
oh,
him in. 7 million, it was a very good time to bring in the Brighton defender.
yeah.
People have gone Webster over Dunk, and almost immediately it's not paid off. It's harsh. 36 minutes in, and it sounds like he's going to miss this weekend, and we've not heard any news about the extent of the injury.
Yeah, I bloody hate it when that happens. You sort of essentially end up wasting two transfers. You only get 1 point for doing it, and it's just one of those things. And it feels like it's not actually happened too much this season so far.
No,
So maybe the injuries are still to come, probably after
yeah,
this tight condensed period.
exactly. I guess that's partly why there's a lot of people with a lot of transfers left, because last season, at the beginning of the season, it felt like every week there was a player getting injured and we're having to make moves. Whereas obviously, I think the overall transfers this time round, there's a lot of people with still mid-20s, high 20s, there or thereabouts. I expected that to be a lot lower, particularly coming up to the next overhaul. But like you say, injuries haven't been there. I wouldn't be surprised if we see rotation and injuries in the next 4 weeks, just with the amount of games that are coming up.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, moving on to the Wolves game, and once again, Wolves picking up a clean sheet for those that are still on, the likes of Sarr, Kilman. It was Wolves 0, Burnley 0.
Yeah, very very happy with this one. Only questioning why I got rid of Size a few
Yeah,
weeks ago. Because
three
I'd have had the
three clean
double up.
sheets on the bounce, mate.
Yeah, yeah, they've been on fire. Can't argue with that. I guess Burnley didn't really threaten in the game. Only one shot by McNeil on target.
Yeah, it wasn't a great game at all.
No, no, nothing from Wolves either. Huang and Jimenez both disappointed in these
Useless.
what are two great fixtures. Jimenez has just, I think, it come and left my team very quickly in team one. Just a waste of time, really.
Yeah, well, you had the transfers to burn, so
I did, yeah.
you were fine. All right, I don't think we should talk about that game anymore. So let's jump on to
No.
a game in which the ownership's probably quite high for one of these teams. It was Aston Villa 1, Man City 2.
Yes, it was, and Ruben Diaz popping up with the goal. I imagine not a lot of people actually moved off of Diaz when he was benched for that. I think it was, I don't know if it was the West Ham
It's
game.
last week, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Cancelo started, and obviously that was a good move based on that game. But however, obviously Diaz scoring today on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Missed out on passing tier, which is sort of unusual for him.
I'm not sure that's correct. I'm just going to quickly double check
Okay, yeah, fair play.
the Sky set, but I have a feeling they managed to find a couple of passes for him. Yeah, they did. He scraped passing tiers.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got a
Well,
goal, passing tier, man of the match, and starting lineup 14 point.
that's filth. Absolute filth. Zinchenko somehow getting 77
Oh, I
passes,
know.
which is mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rodri as well keeps delivering. Passing tier, tackle tier.
Yeah, he's such a good asset. He's just a little bit pricey,
Yeah,
but if you can
it's
afford
like
it,
a luxury Hoiberg.
yeah, pretty much. That is exactly what Rodri is. And even with Fernandinho playing, Rodri still played. So
Yeah.
as for
No,
obviously Villa, Martinez, for those that might still be on him, picked up a save tier 2. Matty Cash got himself tackle tier 2, and Nakamba once again picking up some tier points. He seems to have got a start under Gerrard. Whether he keeps that spot, not sure, but I think I was seeing in the Planet FPL Slack channel there was a few questions about him, and it sounds as though it's his shirt to lose at the moment. So he could be one just to keep an eye on as a cheap kind of budget midfield option.
Yeah, a lot of tackles there.
Yeah. Um, let's move on to a game in which inevitably you got to say everybody would have captain Salah that's on him, and you were rewarded as expected. It was Everton 1, Liverpool 4.
Yeah, another sensational Liverpool performance. I'm guessing you must be a little bit annoyed with Damari Gray
Yeah,
scoring in
great.
this
Yeah,
game.
took Gray out because he wasn't starting the other game, and thought perfect time to move on to Alonso. Alonso goes on to not keep any clean sheets, not hit tiers, and then Damari Gray scores against Liverpool. Fucking sums up my week.
Yeah, you can't predict this sort of thing. But yeah, no, very good performance from Liverpool. Henderson scored a great goal. Salah just week after week, just excellent player. And Diogo Jota, obviously one heavily overlooked in this game
Yeah.
because he's obviously a forward.
Yep.
Maybe we should be thinking about him a little bit more.
Yeah, the double up would have got you some very sizable points over the last couple of weeks. Um, and I don't think I've seen much news on whether Firmino is due back anytime soon. So if that's the case, I fully expect Jota, particularly in the form that he's in, to keep playing. I'm just not sure I'd be willing to have that double up, knowing full well you're going to be transferring one, if not both of them out soon rather than later, because obviously Salah, Afcon, and Jota could eventually get rotated again.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
It's a tricky one, but yeah, if you're chasing, maybe if you're say you're lower than about 4k, someone like Jota could be a really good shout to try and rise up the ranks. But yeah, not for me as a Sky asset. Van Dijk really summed up my week with this one. Obviously, conceding the goal that no one expected to Damari Gray, then getting himself booked, and then not even hitting a tier. Tidy 1 pointer in a game in which I thought it was a guaranteed clean sheet.
Yeah. Expected a 10 pointer from him in this game and way off the pace.
Agreed. Yeah. I don't want to talk about the next game, James. Spurs 2, Brentford 0.
I do because I think a lot of people own Harry Kane,
Yeah,
and obviously a lot of people captained Harry Kane
yeah,
for this game with this game day in mind,
yeah.
and just the same as it's been the last few weeks. Just looks very dull,
It's
not
coming.
threatening.
It's coming.
He has the odd chance, which gives you a little
He
bit of
should have
hope, but
scored.
really, the returns aren't happening
No,
in the league anyway.
frustrating.
A lot of money to spend on a player for him to not do anything, and the real travesty in this game is Hoiberg being 3 passes off of passing to.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, it was, and obviously Brentford were the ones that were really hitting tiers in terms of Sky. Like Fernandez, the goalkeeper, even though he conceded twice, still picked up safe tier 2. The centre backs Pinnock Jansen both hit passing tier. Tony got himself shot tier. Obviously, in Burmo did fuck all. For those like myself that are still on him, big mistake. And yeah, Harry Kane didn't do anything, and the fact that I had Harry Kane in this game meant I was covering the captaincy, meant I didn't move on to the man in the next game, James, and that was Manchester United 3, Arsenal 2.
Yeah, fantastic game of football. Cristiano Ronaldo doing what he does best, scoring goals, won a pen, won a great finish. I think it was Rashford that fizzed the ball through to him.
Yeah, lovely
Yeah,
ball.
very comfortable finish, and yeah, very decent haul for Ronaldo. Obviously, getting man of the match as well. That's 36 points once if you've captained him, which I'm delighted to say I did.
I captained him. I captained him in my B team because I was like 2.5k with my B team. I thought, no, I'll bring in Ronaldo for Antonio. Did it? Put the armband on him, even though I had Son. And yeah, it paid off. And now my B team is like right behind my A team. It's jumped up about 1,000 places, which we'll come on to. But yeah, I was just pissed off that I didn't have the balls to bring in Ronaldo early because the plan at the moment was to bring him in for the Palace game this weekend. I should have just done it when I seen that he was in the starting lineup rather than saying, I'll gain the game for the player I'm going to keep for this weekend, and then because Ronaldo plays the Sunday again, I'll bring him in then. But I should have just done it.
Yeah, yeah. I think with especially having the team news, I think that would have been a good thing to have done. However, maybe because it's against Arsenal, it put you off. I
It,
don't
it
know.
it did a little bit, but it shouldn't have done. Really
No,
shouldn't.
no.
That was
Obviously, Arsenal scored a fortuitous goal with De Gea down injured. All sporting stuff aside, I loved it because I had ESR in
Bet
both
you
my
did.
teams.
Yeah, I know. You did well there, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, 10 pointer, which I just did not see coming.
No.
10 pointer, 8 pointer. I'm getting confused by the extra 2 points for the other
From
game
the other game.
this week.
I
But yeah, very happy with that.
I guess he's then obviously going to be your captaincy coverage for the Everton single on Monday.
He is, yeah. No Everton players near my team, so hopefully, Smith Rowe does the business.
Fingers crossed. Well, let's jump on to our teams then, James, and I will give you the stage because you deserve to talk about your teams first.
Yeah, I'll start with let's start with the slightly worse team.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah.
it's team one that's gone up from 3K to 1.6.
It's matching my
Once
B team now.
yeah, it's I just need to go back a week here. There we go. 183 points.
Nice.
20 from Meslier, 17 for Cancelo, 17 for Van Dijk. Three for Alonso didn't really work out, but Bernardo Silva move paid off 10
Yeah.
points. Declan Rice got some tears, 6 points. Gallagher 7, Smith Rowe 10. Obviously, the front three did pretty well. Ronaldo, Salah, and Son. I was tempted to captain Son, but I'm very glad that I captained Ronaldo in both
Mm.
teams.
No, good man.
Um, team two is up to 465th, which
Smashing
is
it.
new territory for me. 189 points. 20 for Saar, 12 for Alexander Arnold, 17 for Cancelo, 6 for Rudiger. Højbjerg actually letting the side down with 2 points. Rafinha 26, Smith Rowe 10, Gallagher 6, Salah obviously 46, Ronaldo 36. Tony, who I brought in for Jimenez, got me 4 points. I also binned off Antonio and Livramento during this week. Livramento for ESR, that paid off. Antonio, I think, left for Jimenez, who then left for Tony.
So that's honestly that's mad because you've still got what 30 transfers in that team. You're up to
Yes.
465. Had you not then like spunked the move on Jimenez, you'd be 31. You'd be honestly, you'd be like sitting incredibly pretty because to be in your position with still 30 transfers, I think there's a lot of people that would bite your hand off, and your team is also in very good shape now. So now, fair play to you. And that point total, 189, just shows how quickly things can turn in Sky within the space of a week. Because that's 55 points more than what I got on my first team.
Yeah, yeah, it's a massive. I think I went up from like
Yeah,
1.2K
it's a
to yeah
big swing.
465, and yeah, there's a lot of good players down there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can make it up.
Oh, definitely. Like, in my A team, I got 134 points. Obviously, frustrating because I captained Kane. Didn't have the balls to go Ronaldo in that team early. Should have done. Defensively, it was Van Dijk, Dunk, Cancelo did well. But midfield, and Burma and Højbjerg didn't really do a lot, which was frustrating. Um, and just overall, obviously the gamble on Chelsea with Alonso hasn't paid off this week. It was just a bugbear. I think I'm definitely. I say I think I'm definitely going for Ronaldo, providing he's in the team on Sunday because we get to see the lineup. See, there's rumours about potential knock and whatnot, but if he's in that starting lineup, he's coming in. The debate for me will be: do I keep the armband on Kane because he's got Norwich, or do I go Ronaldo given it's Palace? And that decision will be made purely on the
Oh God.
basis of the teams. If I see Ronaldo starting and then say Sancho, Rashford, Bruno are all playing as well, I think I might go Ronaldo. If there's a few changes in that Man United lineup, because obviously they got the Champions League game midweek as well, I might be tempted to go Kane. But we'll see. It'll probably kick me in the arse. In me B team, that is caught up with my A team almost. That got 176 points. So it gained 40 odd points on my A team. That's now 1.6k. So it's only 300 places behind, and only about 20 points behind as well. So it shows, it's still quite tight, because I think I'm 40 something points behind you now. But that's almost 1,000 places. So it makes a big difference. Let's quickly touch on captains for the weekend before we jump on to the Sky questions that we've had. Saturday, I guess it's probably a case of you don't really look any further than Salah, do you?
It's probably going to be Mo. I mean, you could consider Cancelo
Yeah,
based on this game.
the only risk is the fact that it's the 5:30 kickoff. You'd want confirmation that Cancelo is starting.
Yeah, with Champions League coming up, I guess it's a bit of a risk.
Yeah, that'd be the
So
worry.
probably Salah.
Yeah. Sunday, I guess I think there's going to be quite a split, but you're obviously going to be on Ronaldo,
Yes.
and I'm potentially Kane, possibly Ronaldo. I'm in two minds, but we'll see. And then on Monday, it'll be Arsenal coverage for both of us. I'll have Ramsdale, and you'll have ESR.
Yep. That'd be me.
Nice. All right then, let's jump on to the questions. And as always, chaps, thank you very much for listening. And the questions are really appreciated. So first things first, James. We have a question in from FF Dempsey, and this is the question I was talking about. Matters. James Maddison seems to be hitting his best for a while. Is he someone we should be considering, or do you think his output will regress when Tielemans returns?
I think he is someone we should be considering. And yeah, I think I stated my thoughts earlier. I think he may not necessarily regress when Tielemans comes back. So I don't think I'm thinking about him enough to bring him in, but
No.
I'm definitely still sort of monitoring him.
Agreed. Yeah, I wouldn't be bringing him in at the moment, and not for the foreseeable, because I think Leicester's fixtures are generally quite tough. Probably all the way through until April. There isn't really a sustained period in which you'd really say, right, they're good fixtures. Maybe the beginning of January they've got Norwich, Burnley, and Brighton in a row, but then that's followed up by Liverpool, West Ham, Wolves, and Chelsea. So at 8.8 million, I'm not sure I'd be wanting to gamble on Maddison. Yeah, it's the 13 and the 19 points for these weeks, but previously it was 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1. It's, for 8.8, you'd be wanting more consistency, and I think that'll be the key. Question from Luke Notley, Luke NDN. So, Kane to Ronaldo versus Palace, or stick to my current plan of Kane to Ronaldo when United play Norwich? I'm sick of him, but it'd be just my luck for Kane to Hull if I took him out. I wouldn't advocate for taking Kane out on the same day that Ronaldo's playing, because, like you said, it just feels wrong in Sky. You've got the captaincy coverage. Yeah, none of us want to be on Kane, but Kane playing Norwich at the same time as Ronaldo playing Palace, you're not gaining anything from that. And if Kane does score a hat-trick and Ronaldo gets booked and taken off early, you're going to be fuming. So as hard as it is, I'd say stick to your current plan. I don't know what you think it would be, James.
It's a tough one. You would kick yourself if you did it and then Kane returned,
Yeah.
but having said that, Kane hasn't been great. Ronaldo's just scored 2 goals, so
True, but
maybe you could.
we're not even halfway through the season, so there is going to be time to make up points, and that's what I keep telling myself. Because now I'm 40.
And the best way to do that is to not pick Harry Kane.
Yeah, and 100%. Like this has to be Kane's last game, and he's gone. So none of this premium nonsense. The final goodbye. Question from Ryan Fitzsimmons. So he really sums it up. Kane's useless. If he doesn't haul against Norwich, I'm seriously thinking of taking him out for Dennis, which obviously you mentioned, James, next Friday. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that would be a good shout, actually. I think if you do have Kane, in all seriousness, probably keep him for this game. And then, bin him off even if he scores one. Maybe if he scores a hat-trick, think about keeping him. But other than that, I think, just sack him off after this game. And Dennis has been impressing, very much so, and would be a great captaincy pick.
Exactly.
Against Brentford.
Yeah, it's that captaincy coverage, and I think he could be a really good option. obviously the issue we've spoken about in the pod about the African Cup of Nations, but if you've got the transfers to spare and you really want to attack the games, why not go with Dennis? He could afford you elsewhere, and then if he does go to the African Cup, then you can take him out. It shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, I think it's certainly worth considering, Ryan. Moving on to Kippy, Pete Colley, and I love this lad. He keeps commenting on our YouTube videos as well. He's a good man. I'm sure a few people will be asking this, but what to do with Kane? He's killing me. Love the pods, lad. It's all about Kane this week.
Yeah, I think
Bin
you've
him.
got to bin him off after this game.
Yeah, agreed. Let's just quickly look at the fixtures for Harry Kane, and it doesn't really look pretty, does it? It's Norwich, but then it's Brighton, Leicester, Liverpool, then fair enough, Palace, Saints, Watford, but then it's Arsenal and Chelsea before overhaul. There's a little period in there. You'd maybe say Saints, Watford could be two good fixtures to target, but is he worth holding for those? I don't think so.
No, the fixtures aren't terrible. It's not really the fixtures I'm worried about. It's him.
Yeah.
It's the way he's playing, and we thought we'd see something change under Conte, but it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, nothing's changed at the moment. And thank you very much for the question, Shane. But I think we've already answered it. It was just about, could Dennis be an option, or is AFCON a risk? And obviously we've answered that in the previous point. But thank you very much for jumping in for a question, and keep an eye, because obviously we'll be asking next week. So I think that just about finishes the Sky podcast, James. I sincerely hope that you have a good week. As much as that pains me to say, now the fact that you're top 500, mate, got to keep pushing for you, and gives me something to chase for once. So all the best to you, and all the best to everyone listening. Very quick turnaround. Just make sure that you don't miss those deadlines. On that note, James, it is a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Cheers, guys.